Looks like Dez Bryant is going to be receiving a franchise tag from the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones stated it. Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones' son, has said they are leaning towards it. Dez Bryant does not seem too happy about it, although it's going to be $13 million. I'm joined with J.R. Jackson and Ben Mankiewicz. I'm Jason Rubin. So Dez Bryant, a $13 million franchise tag. Now, the NFL does this, or gives owners the option of doing this, to basically, it seems like, stall a long-term agreement and or give a player guaranteed money to give them a little more time to decide on a long-term deal. Because Dez Bryant is going to get signed to a long-term deal, but he is not happy about the franchise tag.
No player wants a franchise tag. I mean, they fight it every time. It might work out eventually, you know, if you get some big money out of it and then sign a long-term deal. But, you know, when you sign that long-term deal, you get a huge bonus. That's the only thing in the NFL that's ever guaranteed is that bonus money. So if you stay healthy, it can work out, but it's a risk if Dez Bryant gets seriously injured this year so that he either can't play or plays at a diminished level. When you become a free agent like Dez, you want that money now. He wants a $37 million bonus and pocket that away. And the Cowboys know that this is a guy that they feel like they've had some that they're a little worried about, you know, as many teams are. You invest that much in a player, does a guy still have the same kind of drive? Every year that they can keep him on a rollover one-year contract is a win for the Cowboys.
Right, and this is a guy who did 1,320 yards, 16 touchdowns, an integral part
17 touchdowns. There was 16? One more. There was one they took away at the end of the season.
Oh,
so I mean, because again, as we talked about off air for a second, you get paid for what the top 5 guys in your position get paid, right?
Yes.
And usually this helps for someone like you mentioned, Anthony Spencer, yeah.
Defensive end linebacker.
Offensive lineman. Offensive lineman.
So
defensive lineman. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So then, with those guys, Anthony Spencer, Dez Bryant. You get paid what the top 5 guys are. Dez Bryant is the top 5. Is in the top 5.
I think he's number one.
It's dispute over 1 or 2 for him, right?
Yes.
Anthony Spencer, I mean, he's happy for that, of course. Dez Bryant is going to get paid, and he deserves to get paid, obviously, for what he's been doing for the past 5 seasons. Right. So that's the difference between one guy being upset about it and another guy being like, hey, it's guaranteed 19.4.
Well, Dez Bryant also, he did tweet, because he is not too happy about this, and he really wants that long-term deal, as Ben was touching on before. It was a retweet from Frankie Gonzalez 3. I love how dedicated @Dez Bryant is to the @Dallas Cowboys. Dez responded, I wish they felt the same way, but it's cool. It's business.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, every year the reserve clause until Marvin Miller, who deserves a place in the Baseball Hall of Fame literally more than any other baseball player, until Marvin Miller set the standard by which modern sports unions are based, the reserve clause existed in baseball, and teams just rolled guys over. You're like, hey, you made $24,000 this year. You had a great year. You'll make $24,500, and that's it. And you're ours in perpetuity. And that's a big deal, and essentially that's what the franchise tag does. It lets you have a reserve clause, a limited one, for a period of time over that one player. But look, the players' union negotiated this, so the players and essentially don't have much to complain about. But there's no doubt to me that as you look down the deals struck by unions in sports, that the last couple of deals made by the NFL Players Union have been bad. Yes. They have not behaved like the strong union they are. So, you know, don't eliminate the franchise tag. His contract's up. Dez Bryant's a free agent. Let's go. Let's have a bidding war for his services. That's how America works.
That's true. Well, this also has a drastic impact on another player on the Cowboys who deserves equal attention to Dez Bryant. That's DeMarco Murray, who carried the ball for 392 times last year.
Out of the backfield. That's not touches. That's runs.
Not just touches. That's just runs. 35% of their total offense. What does this mean for DeMarco Murray going forward? Is he going to get signed or is he not? Because you also have the Cowboys' offensive line, who's enormous. And really, you put any running back there, no, they're not going to equivalent to 35% of total offense from scrimmage. But with the running backs in the draft coming up, and Melvin Gordon, Todd Gurley, Duke Johnson, Amir Abdullah, these are all fixed scenarios that can happen if DeMarco Murray gets let go. What do you guys think in terms of signing DeMarco or letting him go?
Well, in bringing up the ones that could come in, they're not going to get any of those guys. They're the Cowboys. They made it to I don't know what kind of trades they can try and pull to position themselves in the draft to get. I don't know.
You know, let me just jump in there because I don't necessarily agree with you. I'm looking at one mock draft and you can see Melvin Gordon from Wisconsin and you see a guy described as the best running back prospect in maybe the last 5 years, and he's still 18.
Oh, wow.
The value that teams have put on running backs is so diminished because there have been so many elite running backs that have been undrafted or come at the end of the draft,
Right.
the teams forget and they think they can get away with it. And the fact is, it's easy to find those diamonds in the rough. The flip side is, if you have a chance to get Gordon, I would say you
but I
definitely
mean,
want to
then-
get Gordon. So the Cowboys, who might be able to trade up or stay where they are and get one of those guys, but certainly wouldn't have to trade up too far, maybe to get.
It
a
just
guy like
seems
Gordon.
odd when you have a proven commodity that's working for you in the league to go, we'll go with this unproven guy, even though he's proven in college. There's a lot of them that are proven in college, and then you have one. It is hard to find one, whether it's drafted high or drafted low. It's hard to find a guy, and you've got one. Now, that's what makes this situation so hard for the Cowboys. It's not an enviable position to be in, but man, you got a guy, and it's working with that offensive line as we talked about. I mean, there's a rapport you have to have with your offensive line to run the ball well. We look at running backs and go, oh, look at that amazing run, he's awesome. And we forget the guys that created those holes. A lot of guys can run through those holes.
Right.
So which guys can do it the best?
Right. So the offensive linemen, by the way, who never get name recognition that they deserve. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, both all pros.
What school did Tyron Smith go to?
Tyron Smith was the
think he
first
went to
South Carolina.
First round, 9th overall. from
USC, right?
USC, yes.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Not South Carolina. I believe it was
No, I think
JR's.
it's South Carolina.
I believe it is J.R. Jackson's USC. That
You
it was.
say so.
If you say so. Yeah, I do say so. Zach Martin, Notre Dame, and Travis Frederick was the second-team All-Pro. They had 3 All-Pros on their line.
Right.
You have to make tough decisions, and when you have 2 elite players up, you can't sign everybody. There's a salary cap.
Yeah.
And
Which
so,
just went up $1.5 million.
So you make difficult decisions. It's tough. They'll get somebody else.
Yeah.
And you have to. If I'm going to pay a guy, if I'm going to guarantee, I don't know, $40, $50 million to a player, maybe it won't be that high in guarantee, and he's a 27-year-old running back, I'm going to let somebody else have him. I mean, I want my running backs from years 22 to 28. I don't want them from 27 to 32. And those are hard decisions to make. DeMarco Murray, being 27, needs to get as much money as he possibly can right now, because his career could be over in game 8 next year.
And the question is, where's the sweet spot? Because you don't want absolutely inexperienced running backs. Yeah, 22 is good age. Is it a good mental age? And is it a good?
development needed
Yeah,
at 22
maybe
most
we're
of the
looking at
time.
24, 25. Which is who they have. I think we're talking about Lance Dunbar. I think he's 25.
Well, first of all,
Joseph Randall.
you
Those
can-
guys
you
are
can
24,
develop these
25
guys.
years
You
old.
gotta wrap up.
Joseph Randall has got enough off-the-field issues that I'm not sure you want to invest the future of a playoff team by giving the ball to Joseph
But
Randall 300 times.
handle the rock 150 times a year, and you're going to get some production out of that type of play.
My hunch is Joseph Randall is not a Cowboy next year, so we'll see. I think but it'd be interesting to see whether both can be signed. But I would not devote that big kind of money to it.
All right,
Let somebody else do it.
What do you guys think? Keep or cut DeMarco Murray? Let him go to free agency, or sign him for a long-term deal? It's going to cost the Cowboys a lot if they do. Don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments in the section below, and we will see you next time.